Hello and welcome back to the channel. It has been a while. I was out of town, then got sick, and then life crap, and was out of town again. It has been a while. I feel like I've barely been on my bikes. Then it was storming. It's just been a lot for some reason. But here we are. You guys, we had a random day off together, so we're out on the bikes. The wife got her tracksuit in this week, so here we are letting her work on breaking it in. So they said you need to just basically wear it, let yourself sweat inside of it to help get everything kind of adjusted for yourself. So we had a little bit of time and we thought we'd take it out. Meanwhile, I decided to swipe her bike again because we need to get it to its first service situation. So adding a couple miles to this along the way. But I realized this year I have not ridden as much as usual because my Tiger, my service light is on, and it's not because of its mileage, it's because of its time since its last service. And for me that's kind of disheartening because the first service I did on the bike, so the bike has a 1-year service interval on it, or 10,000 miles. And the first service I did on it, like I did it in 8 months, so I was on that bike all the time. This one actually hit a year. Now part of that is unfortunately that rear tire, which still has not been replaced yet by the factory warranty scenario. So that recall is still on that motorcycle. But I've bought a different tire for it just so I could ride the darn thing. But yeah, I was like, my service light's on. I'm still 1,000 miles away from my 10,000 mile distance. And I'm like, that's disheartening to me. Alright, I thought I had this quick shifter figured out, and apparently not quite. It seemed like if I got it up to 6,000 RPM, let up the throttle, I could hit the quick shifter and it would shift. There it goes. So it must be 5.5? Interesting. Oh well. I'll have to keep playing with it. The Tiger's quick shifter, it doesn't care what RPM you're at, it'll shift. So I find that interesting. But hey, every technology has its own pros and cons, so work with the one that we got. But I hope everyone's doing well. I hope the riding season is still going for you. This is actually technically our riding season's just starting because temperatures are finally under 100. So as long as we stop with the monsoon storms that have been, like the tropical storms have been hitting us pretty good, which in all honesty the Arizona does need the water. It's just for the riding scenario. I was in my car the other day driving home from work because I was like, it's supposed to rain. And I'm glad I did because my car's got those sensors for, accident avoidance and all that stuff in it, which half of it I really don't care about. But it was raining so hard that my car's sensors go, we can't help you right now, we're turning off. I was like, that's a new one. That it was so stormy out that the sensor's like, yeah, good luck. We're not doing it. We're not responsible for whatever you get into right now. So I thought that was really funny. And 6-ish. Nope. 5.5. Nope. 6. Nope. Still not quite there yet. No, I'll figure it out. So yeah, I was just like, well, guess I'm not riding. We have another storm coming up this weekend, so we'll see how that one plays out. But yeah, it's just like, it's been beautiful days out, and at times I can ride, I'm working, and times I can't ride, it's raining. So, well, whatever. But I hope you guys all get a chance to still ride while it's still nice out for you before the riding season ends. For me, my riding season's just beginning, so see how many miles I can get my bike going. And And hopefully not get into situations like this poor guy over here is getting into right now. So guess I gotta play catch up now. But yeah, the Ninja actually, oh, that's not nice to see. You just barely can make that corner. Yeah, it's fun to ride. Has a, that inline 4 actually has a good sound to it. I do like it. Nothing against Harleys and any other bikes I've had, but hello Toyota. Yeah, it's just interesting, and it's real smooth power. So hey, if you like sport bikes, this is a fun little bike to have. So hopefully, with now track season just starting, I think the company she was looking at doing track seasons with just started their first race last month. Unfortunately, we had things come up, so we couldn't go check it out. Now that our suit just came in this last week, trying to see if I can talk her into the one that's coming up here in a couple of weeks. But we'll see what her thoughts are on that. But so yeah, see how she does now that she's got her suit. It's amazing how long it takes for it to be shipped. But she says it fits great, so that custom fitting, if you're gonna spend the money on it, it's apparently really nice. Unfortunately, not everybody's tailor-made to the same dimensions, so you gotta do what you gotta do on that. Now, riding this thing makes me really curious what that FJR would have been like riding, because this thing is similar. And it's not totally uncomfortable. Like, it's, yeah, the foot position's a little bit more aggressive, of course, because it's behind me than directly like underneath me, like the Tiger. But the more interesting thing is because of course of that, I'm leaning forward, so I've got a lot more pressure on my arms than I can. The Tiger's kind of sitting upright. I think the FJR would have been a similar situation. Now maybe I'll find a used one in a couple years and try it out. But there's one thing I've noticed that with the Road King I had, being that it was an 06, ran great, didn't have any problems with it. I think I put 20,000 miles on that bike. Was that engine had a known, like, at a certain point you should change out the oil pump on it, and since I didn't have a second bike at the time, I didn't want to take it apart, and my dealership, because of the age of the bike, refused to service on it anymore. So I was going to have to find an independent company or do it myself, which doing it myself wasn't a bad idea. It was just I didn't want to have the bike down for an amount of time for a part that I didn't know if I needed to replace or not. So I don't know what the previous owner had done for upgrades to it at the time. So I had sold it, but yeah, I mean, the bike was fine. It ran great on everything. Hit that, there you go. So with that being a used bike, and then the Valkyrie I've been enjoying. haven't had any problems with it. So now I'm kind of like, well, maybe when I do upgrade the Tiger, maybe I will look for another used bike that's, save myself a few $1,000s on the bike. I was just afraid of it's like, okay, what did X person do to this thing? Did they maintain it properly? Is everything working? Are they just dumping it because they don't want to, deal with the maintenance of it? So I was really hesitant on trying to buy used bikes. And then, the Valkyrie being good, the Road King being good, I don't know, I might just stick with the used bike now as my secondary one. The only thing right now the Tiger's bugging me about is the fact that it's so digital that even an oil change, I have to bring it to a dealership to reset the stupid thing for its timer. And it's like come on, why can't I can do an oil change on a bike? Why do I have to take it to a dealership to have it go into a program to sit there and go, okay, yep, this can get reset now. So, and that's another thing. It's kind of like I want to go more basic than technology. I mean, I will say the Tiger's the throttle control being digital and the suspension being digital. Those are fun to play with, and when you're changing your in the ride and you're like, oh, this is a sportier area, let me stiffen up the suspension so I can really hug the corner. That's so much fun to just be able to just change it, and then oh, we're cruising now, and just change it back so you have a soft ride. Tiger is fantastic for that. Great ride on it. The suspension changing is really quick, and it's a fun motorcycle. If you're cruising around, fantastic bike. But the Valkyrie, it's oh, this bike rides good. Its suspension I kind of want to change out, but I actually need to adjust it. It does have adjustable rear suspension. I just have not adjusted it yet for my size, so I need to check on it. That was a poor mule or donkey. But I do want to see if I can adjust it for my weight size and see if that helps it, or change it out. And unfortunately, being a 98, getting some of the parts for it are a little trickier. But yeah, so now I'm just kind of you know what, I kind of want to just stick with some of the older stuff. And the only thing that I do really like also is the braking is a hell of a lot better on the newer bikes than that Valkyrie. It's oh, I gotta plan ahead on my braking a month and a half in advance. It is a challenge. So I think I needed to actually take that bike apart and make sure those calipers are clean. So that'll give me a project to do. Now that it's actually temperature in the garage, I can actually work on things. But at least make sure those calipers are working properly. Because yeah, that braking is a suggestion. But what are your thoughts, huh? You guys going full technology and just newest, greatest, all that kind of stuff, or are you like the old school, having fun and yeah, the stuff's antiquated, but it still gets you what you want to do and all that stuff. Because yeah, I mean, the Tiger, technology-wise, the suspension's great, throttle's really good for what I've done with it. My mind just skipped on it. The braking is really good. Those things are really nice on that bike. But then it's oh, maintenance on it is trickier because of all that technology, the sanctions on it for everything. It's just so it's oh, okay, so that's more expensive. The registration is more expensive, insurance, of course. oh yeah, or just go back to old school stuff. It's like, oh, got dials for gauges and have it go. Because man, like some of these warning lights are just like, come on. Like, so I don't know if I talked about it before. Like, so the Tiger, a couple months ago, I was backing out of the garage, tried to do a U-turn in my driveway, which is sloped, of course, and didn't give it enough throttle, dropped the bike, no speed to it, just dropped it in the driveway. You know, I popped up, of course I'm older, so it took me a second, turned off the motorcycle, put it back up on its wheels, and restarted after I, made sure everything was okay, no leaking, nothing. So the bike all of a sudden has like 10 different warning signs going off, going like, oh, all this stuff is not working, da, 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 da. So I parked the bike, put it away, go ride the Valkyrie, come back. The next day, take it out again, just to kind of see what's going on. Still had some warning symbols, but it's like, it actually did tell me, it's like, oh, like oil issue with this and that. It's like, okay, well, it's been upright, there was no oil underneath the bike. So, drove it around the block just to see if it just doesn't have pressure going through everything correctly. And then the warning light was still there. So I called my dealership and they go like, hey, my bike dropped. Like, what, this warning light, is this a sensor that it says like, oh, I know the bike was upside down, so I'm mad at you now. It needs to be just reset. Or is there something truly broken on it? And the guy's like, oh, well, you should bring it in to have it looked at. I can't really tell you over the phone. Like, lovely. So I looked at it for a little bit. I'm like, oh, because you could have, when you dropped it, it might have hit something. Like, the bike's got a full cage on it. The whole front cage is like, nothing hit the engine, nothing hit the tank, nothing hit anything on it. Like, that bike has full protection on it. And it wasn't like I did 0 speed and there was no rocks for it to crash into. Like, it was purely like, okay, it is what it is. So I got frustrated. I ended up just like taking it to work the next day, which is like a 100-mile ride, and the light was still blinking. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll have to take it in. And then when I got off work and I started to ride back, the light quit blinking. I was like, son of a bitch, the goddamn thing just had to reset itself after so much time. So that really annoyed me. And so it's like, it's sensors like that. It's like, okay, cool. They tell you something's not right, but it's also something I can't just go, yep, this looks good, ignore it, or reset, recheck it. So I mean, like the Harley did that too, where like it had a sensor said, oh, something came up in this scenario. I'm like, okay, was that a glitch in the program where it just registered something wrong, or is it truly bad? And it said, oh, do this to reset the code. So I reset the code and the code didn't come back. So I'm like, okay, so it's just a one-off. I don't know how long that code was on there, but the system reset itself, and once I reset it, it didn't have that issue again. So it was just like, kind of wish I had that where I could say, okay, let me reset it and see if the code pops back up again. If it comes right back up, then we know there's a problem. And it's like, I can't do that with that bike. So it's kind of frustrating in that aspect. As good as the bike is for so many things and what it can do, but it's like, then you have the technology of it. It's like, oh, unless you have the software or the device to plug into it, you can't work on it in the garage. So that's kind of where I'm leaning now more towards the, all right, maybe I'll just kind of go to older bikes that are used and see what I can find that have low miles on them and go from there, because some of this stuff is just a little ridiculous to me, and I might lose out on some comfort and some fun, but then you get a different kind of fun and just ride a little differently. So that's my rant. Just kind of enjoying the ride. Just kind of going off on my own little mind there. Alright, I've complained enough. Sorry to bore you with all this stuff. Hopefully the scenery was a little bit nice to look at while I'm ranting. Thanks for coming along. Until next time, be safe and have fun. Take care.